Hey, welcome to a new edition of Moon, Myth, and Magic. And I'm here with Triana and a surprise guest, Nigel Farmer. And Triana, why don't you introduce Nigel? And oh, I forgot to say, we're here to discuss the full moon in Gemini. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And Triana, introduce how you know Nigel.
Well, I met Nigel about 35 years ago when I lived in the United Kingdom. And I met him at a psychic fair where I was with a friend of mine. And I can't remember what we had on the table. There was, I think, oils or something that we were displaying. And Nigel and his then wife came up to the table, and I looked at them and thought, I love these people. And we became friends. And so I've been friends with Nigel ever since. We've had a lot of adventures with crop circles and alien chasing and astrology. And we've had all kinds of conversations over the years about mystical things. And we've had common adventures and experiences that we could never explain. And all these years later, we've reconnected again, actually through Joan. We've been in touch once in a while, but through Joan, interestingly enough, we've reconnected in a significant way. And now Nigel's here with us today.
Well, and I've just got to add this on, Nigel, before you say something, because I think this is really cool. So, on one of these episodes, I was encouraging people. It's like, hey, if you like, what we shared, please feel free to leave comments and we'll pull a card for you. Who knows? Maybe you'll come on sometime and we'll. Okay, so this is a wild idea. And voila, Nigel once, Nigel twice. Hello, Nigel. I mean, isn't that just so cool? Because I think, Triana, you emailed Nigel a copy of, let him know that we were doing this moon myth and magic. And then we've gotten together and I've gotten to know Nigel. And I said, hey, feel free if you would like to come join us and you can give your 2 cents on whatever we're talking about. So there you go.
Well, Triana, or as I affectionately call you, T, not cups of tea, but tea for the big T. and Joan, thank you both so much. The link that I received from Triana, I went, okay, if she's sending me this and saying having a look, there's a good reason, because she doesn't tend to just give things out willy-nilly. So I clicked on it and I started, and it was very quick. I went, oh, this is a good pairing. Who's this? What's that? Like the sound of this. This looks good. So I watched it, the first one completely through to the end, and then felt compelled actually to make a comment, which was, I believe, really saying, hey, well done, this is fantastic. And then I was told that about the card and so on and so forth. And it was exciting. I was like, wow, let's go and have a look. And the card had a lot of meaning for me at that time I watched it. And I was like, I'd just been writing an article about my perception of what time really is, amongst others, other elements of that particular paper that I was writing. So, excuse me, it was actually very synchronistic for me. And then I said, okay, I really want to understand more about what the two of you are discussing. And because I think that, again, synchronistically, what you're developing as a seedling it's the right time for it to actually propagate and flourish and grow. And I very much appreciate you inviting me to come along. And I may sit more quietly this time as I listen and absorb. But if I want to say something, I'll probably raise my hand and dutifully say, may I ask a question or make a comment?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, and welcome. We're both so excited you're here. And dun 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 dun, Triana, what would you like to tell us about the full moon in Gemini for December 15? What stories are you in the mood to share?
Well, this particular full moon coming up on Sunday is going to be in a rather, it's a wide angle, but it will be in a kind of tense angle with Neptune. Neptune is the dreamer. Neptune is, and Neptune is in Pisces. Neptune is the Roman name for the Greek god Poseidon. And interestingly enough, Poseidon was the god of the sea. One day Poseidon was sitting by the sea and he was just watching it. And he was in a creative mood. He stretched his hand out over the ocean and created the horse. And horses came up out of the waves. And that's how horses were created. Interesting, huh? We were just talking about horses, as usual. And so Neptune is the dreamer, and Gemini is the thinker. So we have the thinker and the dreamer, not really kind of in conflict with each other, but more in the way of, are we going to overthink or are we going to be away with the fairies? That's kind of how the energy of this full moon is going to work.
Well, that's interesting. What I wrote, I love the visual of Poseidon is just so cool. I just loved how you took your hand and you went and from the waves, the horses. Oh, it's beautiful. You know, I was thinking about Gemini and what comes to mind for me, and then Triana edit, you know, whatever I'm saying, so you make it more Triana'd. But what comes up for me, when I think of Gemini, I think of communicators and fast talking, fast thinking, go. That's really, and I think of the power of words. And so what I was playing with this idea of the full moon, because for me, full moons are about forgiveness, they're about letting go, they're about releasing what's no longer needed. Like there's a big flashlight in the sky in that Gemini, what path is it lighting? So that kind of the notes that I wrote for myself on this particular moon is reminder for letting go, releasing what no longer serves us. And because Mercury is still retrograde, and now we have some time that it's in this particular moon, I went, maybe it's a chance to rethink something. Maybe it's a time to clean up communication. Maybe it's time to change your mind. Or maybe it's as simple as focusing on the power of our words. You know, I've heard sometimes people refer to Geminis as the master communicator. I remember hearing that once. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting idea. First air sign. It's like, power of our words.
Do you find that when you talked about Neptune, or the energy might be slightly in conflict, if I've got that correct, is that because, or you may have, I don't know, detailed overthinking something, or fantasizing or going off with the fairies? That's what I mean. Is that perhaps there's a conflict there. Is that in relationship to the Gemini or the twins, or two ways of thinking, yet both, but Gemini is also known for being a great communicator? Just want to understand that.
Well, it's sort of Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra are all air signs. So they're mental and they think, they're thinkers. And
Okay.
Gemini is, what's the word I'm looking for? Gemini is split and will go one way or the other, rarely, and they can't go both ways. So what the Neptune influence may do with this full moon is cause indecisiveness. What the moon is shining on may cause the Gemini person to doubt whether or not to go in that direction, regardless of what's being reflected.
Okay, so they go into conflict,
Right.
Potentially, and then that creates a paradox for them.
Exactly.
Oh, I see. Okay. Because I love the fact that you were both referring to these different energies. I mean, I'm probably more on the side of dreaming, because at the moment my dreams, I mean, I've got a call into Steven Spielberg because I'm thinking I've got a number of Oscar-winning dreams going on at the moment, and I'm thinking, wow, that the energy is really strong or coming up right now. Is that correct?
Yes, and well, also the dreams around this full moon, because of Neptune being in Pisces, people will dream and have dreams of things like perhaps childhood homes or times that have gone by, or even since it's a conflicting type of aspect, they may have troubling dreams of the future or the present or premonition dreams. It'll be kind of a wild full moon, and basically whatever is going on with us internally or symbolically is what will be shined upon by that full moon. So that's what we'll be looking at on one level of consciousness or another.
Wow.
And so 2 weeks ago, we were in the new moon of Sagittarius. Focus on the positive. And the full moon, oh, no, Joan, that's Pisces. That's the wrong one. Oh, interesting. Well, that was on forgiveness. But when I, yeah, forgive me, I pulled the wrong card. And, I've got to say this because this just came up. Nigel, when you were talking, I got the clearest vision. And I don't know, you guys are going to know what this is called. I don't know what it's called. But in Tibet, there is a prayer piece. It's on a stick.
Yeah.
It has two pieces, and you rub it like this in your hands, and it goes, and it has a drum at the top.
Prayer wheel.
Prayer wheel. And what I was getting with whatever you were talking about Neptune and about these changes, Triana, when you and Nigel were talking about that, I was getting that it was like the prayer wheel, the drum is being beaten right now, and it's getting the music on both sides like this simultaneously while you were talking. But I couldn't remember the name. And then, you think about it. What's the drum you're beating? What's the music you're moving to?
That's a great symbol. That's a great symbol, Joan.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is and I was a little nervous when, Nigel's coming on, because it's like, Triana, we're running with the big dogs here. We've got Nigel on the call. So I wanted to make sure I don't like goof up. So, and I went, well, I already did. I pulled, whatever. So I thought, okay, I need to shuffle and have the cards feel really good. And I had them all ready to go to start. And then right before, it was like, now cut them in half. Okay, you always have the cards down. No, cut them in half and turn all the cards up. Okay, so everything is the opposite of how it's been before. And I went, okay, we're in new land. This is good. We've got the power of 3 on our call. And I thought, okay, so what's our theme? Let it shine. Now, what I find so interesting is Gemini is an air sign, and we have a peacock, which is a bird, air sign. And look at that radiant heart. So when you think of your communication for this full moon, is your heart in it? Or what are you putting your heart into? Are you letting your light shine? And, you know, something else that I think is really important, it's the last full moon of the year. Isn't it, Triana? Unless I've lost it. Okay, it's the last full moon. So think about it, endings. It's the culmination of 24. Well, this card number, it's a 10, it's a 1, which is all about new beginnings. So as we are letting go, as we are releasing, as we are forgiving all that has happened in 24 and choosing what we want to step forward into in 25, where do we want our light to shine? Are we ready to spread our wings? You know, are we willing to be like how visible, how visible. And then you've got that master communication skill of Gemini as a guide, leading us into this unknown of the letting go of 24, opening into 25 with this great big bright moon. So that was the first card. And Triana, that it is, let me see if I'm right in this. So if you were to say the signs that are going to be the most triggered by the Gemini full moon would be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. The air sign.
The elements would be the air signs.
Right.
Okay. So let's give some guidance for Gemini. Oh my gosh, I think this is brilliant. Well, what can I say? I better share it. Armadillo spirit.
Wow.
Set healthy boundaries. So think about our communication. Set healthy boundaries.
That's a good one as well, because Neptune in Pisces doesn't really recognize boundaries. If you think of water, water will flood its banks and kind of slip under the door and that type of thing. And the emotions tend to do that as well. If we're overcome with them, they don't know boundaries very often.
Yeah.
So are you saying that, let me just feedback this for both of you, is that, see if I got this clear, is that there needs to have a shift or a change in perspective that can sharpen your understanding and then bring renewed clarity.
Yes.
Is that okay? All right.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I like that. That's a good affirmation in a way, or that's definitely the lyrics to a song.
Wonderful.
Write it down.
Yeah,
all right,
okay.
Nigel, stay tuned for Nigel's song coming next. Coming soon.
Well, it's interesting what you were saying. Before I came on, I'm in what's called post-production of a song which is called Echoes of Change. That's my title. And with everything that's being talked about today, I see these tremendous parallels because, and one of the funny things was there's a musical genres. I'm liking to mix in different genres, and one of them was Tibetan, you see. And so when you said about the prayer wheel, and I've been looking for the sort of certain sounds that I could find that emulated something like that. And of course, interestingly, going thousands of miles away, I'm mixing in the Aboriginal didgeridoo with Tibetan instruments, amongst other things. But the funny thing was also my title I'd chosen was Echoes of Change. So hearing what you both were just talking about with this full moon, I'm going, oh, okay, I can accept that, because without realizing it, I'm paralleling a lot of it in my own creative outlet.
Brilliant. Love that. So Gemini, so Geminis set healthy boundaries. And Libra, I think this is great. I have a fox, a red fox. Think on your feet. Think on your feet. I'll tell you, boy, can the Libras I know, masterful. My father was brilliant at this. Think on your feet. My voiceover friends who are Libras, it's like, oh, yes, 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 yes. Think on your feet. And then for Aquarius, I love cows. And Switzerland, when I went to the Des Alpes and the cows were all coming out of the off the mountain, coming
lovely.
home. And so we have this beautiful cow, and her message to us, the miracles are endless. So the element of the air signs that is so powerful in this reading, I feel, is the miracles are endless when we think on our feet and set healthy boundaries. When we set healthy boundaries and think on our feet, miracles are endless.
And I'm trying to understand, I get the sense from what you're both talking about, and there's this wonderful synergy that you're both providing me. And if there's any doubt, I honestly, it's within my own non-understanding of, but it appears that the energy of this moon is so transformational.
Yeah.
In so many areas, and I know you say about that air signs, but I mean, earlier this week from this recording, Syria basically ousted a dictator and a family for goodness knows how many years, and that happened, bang, really very, very quickly. And other things worldwide and politically seem to be going bang, 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 bang. And so it sounds like, although there's a predominancy with the astrological air signs, and maybe, Triana, you can speak to this in relationship to world events and what you were saying about Poseidon, going, I'm going to create horses. It sounds like Poseidon's he's sitting on the beach again, going, right, let's move on to another almost cosmic level of humanity. Can you speak to us about that?
Well, this is what you're speaking of is more the energy of Pluto having just moved into Aquarius. And Pluto deals with the collective unconscious, the collective subconscious, and deals with, it's a world and generational planet. And it occupies a sign for about 20 years. And a couple of weeks ago, it just moved from Capricorn, where it was for 16 years, into Aquarius, which some astrologers herald this as the Aquarian age, having just started.
Okay.
With that shift into Aquarius, you will see these world events occurring quickly. And we're starting to see the beginning signs of Pluto in Aquarius now, with Aquarius being the humanitarian, the bringer of change, the we'll see innovation. We'll see originally Aquarius used to be a water sign, but then with the discovery of the planet Uranus, which rules Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius changed from water to air. But interestingly enough, Aquarius symbolizes Prometheus, the bringer of fire to mankind. And so the symbolization of that, of Prometheus, is what Pluto is symbolizing to us now, the bringing of fire to mankind. So we're seeing a whole different level of ourselves now that we haven't seen for 250 years.
All hail Aquarians.
We bow to the east in the name of Aquarius.
Is there anybody in the room that's an Aquarius?
Well, I think I can find one.
Oh, could you? That would be nice.
Oh, Lord, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Well, deep subject. No, just kidding. The next thing, Triana, is how about the mutable signs that are going to be affected? So we know the air signs are going to be affected. Gemini is their magic for moving forward is really focused on having healthy boundaries set. Libra, it's remembering their ability and their skills to polish that up of thinking on their feet. And Aquarius, you know, miracles are endless, you know, but when I think of a cow as a symbol, I think of sure-footed. I think of solid. I think of, oh, I think of beauty when I think of Switzerland. But with cows, I just think of, there's just a grounded, calm, peaceful, solid. And for Aquarius, remembering grounded in that, if we're wanting to improve mankind in a way, first we must be solid. We must move from our hearts, let it shine, be that peacock. And then when we do, here we go, another air sign. We're getting a B. Sweet results await.
Oh.
And I think it really speaks back to, you know, because communication is happening so quickly. And that, in that sense of being grounded comes back to that. And again, sweet results. And so we're talking all about air signs right now. But let's switch and go into mutables. What are the qualities?
Okay, the mutable signs are Gemini, of course, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces.
Gemini, Virgo, Sag, Pisces.
And Nigel had commented on how this full moon seems to be so broad in its nature, and that's why, is because it's involving mutable signs, which are more broad than the fixed signs or the cardinal signs.
Well, I think this is kind of a cool thing. I think of my great nephew who's a musician. And so for Gemini, we have a canary on a flute. and says, sing your own song. So having healthy boundaries allows them, Geminis, to sing your own song. But again, it's that communicating, singing, the beautiful voice of a canary. Virgo. Oh gosh, I love this. Badger spirit.
Oh,
Be fearless and bold.
Nice.
great image.
Sagittarius. I love it. Vulture spirit. Nothing is wasted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm looking at what you're wearing, Triana, and those colors in here. Isn't that just a great reminder that nothing is wasted?
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh, you can't make this up. This is priceless. So whenever I think of dreamers, with just the study of astrology that I've done, I go right to Pisces. That's just where I go. And here we go. Nigel, just like the last time, we did a card for you with whale spirit, number 11. This time we have number 11.
Oh,
Spider spirit, make your dreams real.
can you show me that again? Wow.
Make your dreams real.
Wow.
So Pisces, so of the, Triana, what is the proper, we say mutable. Do we call these qualities mutable qualities?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So of the mutable qualities, Gemini, to support you, just remember to sing your own song. And Virgo, your ability to be fearless and bold is how you're going to be able to shine your light. And Sag, remember, nothing is wasted. And you're going to be able to make your dreams come true. So for the mutable signs, well, let me put this all together and tell a little bit of a story. So I want to go back to 2 weeks ago's new moon that we started out with. Focus on the positive. So that's been coming up too, it's like what's working, but we're in Mercury retrograde, which is so great, especially to have it be in Scorpio and then have it move into Sag. So
it's in Sagittarius.
Now it is.
Right.
No, but it started in Scorpio.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were there first, and then fortunately it moved into Sagittarius. It was like, yes, please, let's go with the fire. But it's like that focus on the positive. That was where we had like kind of that time frame. Then today's full moon, I don't have it in front of me. That was for me, was playing with the word forgiveness. That's why that came up. And then our theme for today, let your light shine. So think about Gemini, master communicator. Where are we choosing to shine our light? So it's shining on the negative or the positive. That's up to us. We're the one controlling our light. And so if you are, well, let's do the whole story. So Geminis, set healthy boundaries. Libras, think on your feet. Aquarius, remember, miracles are endless. Gemini, sing your own song. Virgo, be fearless and bold. Sag, nothing is wasted. And Pisces, make your dreams real.
Wow, this energy is very versatile.
Yeah, and so when I do it in the reverse order, which is always where I find my magic, make your dreams real. So if you want to know about timing, about what's going on, what we're here to do, it's time to make your dreams real. Nothing is wasted. Be fearless and bold. Remember to sing your own song. The miracles are endless.
Beautiful.
Think on your feet. And it's really important that we set healthy boundaries so we can let our light, our hearts shine and pull us forward with this peacock spirit.
Mhm.
We're going to forgive ourselves in life for anything that we need that is ending to clear that way. We're going to focus on the positive. And when we do,
Mm.
sweet results await.
Wow.
So since we were talking, I think that this is really an important card because I'm going with Poseidon, hand out across the water and within the waves. It really could make me cry. But our final card, horse spirit,
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
freedom is yours.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
wow. Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
mm.
I mean, there's just no words. I mean, that's one of the things that I love about co-creating this practice with Triana and now with you, Nigel. And for any of you watching this, thank you for, investing quality time. I know how precious that is. And this is really a luxurious moment and a luxurious interaction. And there is such sustenance. It's simple, it's elegant, and it's a smorgasbord that you can just take little bites from whatever piece feels good for you and apply it in your life. And please, if you have any questions, type it below. We'll pull a card for you. You can come on the show. We have options. If you want to play with us, we would love to play with you. So do either of you have anything? You want me to pull a card or anything? Anything, Triana, anything you can come up with that you say, okay, Joan, tell me something.
I think my brain is full.
Beautiful. That's kind of how it's feeling to me. How about you, Nigel?
Yeah, I think I've levitated a couple of inches off my chair, so I'm I am so grateful. For me, I think that's with internally and externally and around me is the gratitude I feel, and thank you both so much. For me, very meaningful, very meaningful.
It's been
And
great having you on, Nigel.
well, thank you, and I seriously encourage anybody that's watching to continue to do so because magic is being made, and I think it speaks to the fact that when people are willing to allow being in the present and just allowing the flow to happen, that the barriers and the veils come down and the access that we have, and as I perhaps mentioned before, is that the bandwidth gets stronger. So thank you both very much. I loved it so much. Great, absolutely wonderful.
And we loved it too. And thank you everyone for tuning in today. The word that comes to me is sated. I was hungry before the call. I get really excited to play with brilliance just excites me. And so when I get to play with two magical people like Triana and Nigel, and the three of us to sort of explore and, learn and grow and understand. So thank you all for being with us today. Be sure to like, follow below if that appeals to you, if you liked our content. And we're going to be back again 2 weeks from now for December 30th's new moon in Capricorn.
Ooh.
So Nigel, if you want to come play with us again, you're invited. You'll just see what your schedule is.
I'll make it work.
Yes.
I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Triana, do you have anything you want to add?
Well, the next new moon, since it'll be the second new moon of the month, it'll be called the black moon. Rather than a blue moon, if it's a new moon, it's called a black moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pick a foot. We're ready. We'll be ready. Well, I can't say I'm ready now. Give me a couple of weeks. We'll be ready. All righty. Bye for now.
Bye.
Guys, again next time.